Okay, 1783, good luck. 3,000 games of rapid, that's really good. Let's just go d4. Just develop and castle and then worry about what to do. I'm going to bring the bishop out. Okay, so I can still play this. I could actually push this pawn up straight away and try and kick the knight back. What do I want to do? I'm wondering whether to do h3, e3 or d5. I'm going to gain a bit of space. If he takes, I'll still go with this pawn, I imagine. If the knight comes forward, I'll just be able to kick it back. Maybe even a move like queen up. But with d5, I'm just gaining that little bit more space. Then I can go e3 or e4. Probably e3 still. Okay, he has taken, so I'll take back. So he's got the option to come forward. But we could throw in a check if he does that. Or we can take, throw in a check. He might be in a lot of trouble here, actually. He might be in a lot of trouble if he comes here. I think I take. So he's gone back. So that's the best move, I think. So now here he goes here. I don't have any way to follow up on that, do I? I'm going to check anyway and just get castled. And try and get the rook across. Now, where do I want this bishop? I'm wondering whether to allow him to come forward. I think I will. So I'm going to end up doing this. Now, I could get an early c4 in. I mean, he might play knight forward, he might do. I could possibly just expand in any event, but he's got no kingside development whatsoever. Well, that's what he's done. So I assume I want to still play c4. Well done, I could take with a queen, but the pawn feels better to target the pawn and open the file for the rook. Otherwise, I'm threatening just to open things up straight away. Just click anywhere on the board, it clears your markings. So he has taken. So I'm going to take with the pawn. So we're threatening to capture another pawn. So again, if he takes, I will take back. I don't think I can actually stop him castling. I think I don't have enough to attack with to do that. Now, pawns come forward, so he'll want to do this. So, rook up, pawn forward somewhere. And so I can't stop that. So what about just going forward here? Takes. Again, I don't think I can stop that. So can we stop him castling? I could play a bishop up, but I don't think it quite works either. I think he's just solid enough here. So I'm just going to get the knight into play. Okay, now rook across, or do I go forward? I'm going to actually go forward, so if his knight comes up, I've got the option to take. Mess his structure up a little bit, hopefully. If he plays pawn up, I've maybe just got queen d4. So he's gone there. So just continue to pile the pressure on. There might be threats to check or to take at some point. They might not happen, but threats. But yeah, knight up I can take. Well, he's done that, so now can't I just go here? Very, very, very awkward position for black, isn't it? Just from a lack of kingside development early on. He might end up being perfectly fine and win the game, but it's very awkward at least to start. He might have to move his rook there. Knight up is simply a free knight. So he's gone with the pawn, so I can take, queen takes. Then maybe rook up and take. I think this is just about over, it should be. I think I can just take there. But it is rapid, so there's no rush. He might have to play a move like king up. I'm going to take. If he takes, I just take back. We're threatening another pawn. There's a pin on this pawn, so he can't capture. The king can't run away this side, at least not on this move. If he takes a take, I'm attacking the rook. Maybe he can get away with just simply rook across, maybe. Oh, he has moved, but now if I move my knight, I'm attacking the rook, so is there a safe square for the knight? So I'm just looking at knight here. If I take, he can take back either way. And that might be perfectly good for me, but I'm looking at a move like knight across. It covers bishop over, but I guess he can actually just move the rook. So I'm not going to try and complicate things and burn the clock. I'm just going to take. And maybe queen across. Yeah, queen down to put pressure on this pawn as well, threaten a check. Just lack of kingside development in the early stages. Rook up could be very nasty as well here, actually. He's got nothing to really chase the rook away, and it stops him pushing his pawn. I'm going to do that first. Just try and pile the rooks across. Queen over to put pressure on. Okay, so he's gone there. So now if I go across, I threaten to take. So he can't really afford to just grab this pawn. Maybe he can, but I can just shift the rook out of the way. Oh, he has gone for it. I don't think he could afford to do that. So maybe I just shuffle across and attack the bishop. I assume he's going to have to go back here. But I must be better here. I must be better. But if I come away, it might lead to this at some point. But I'm going to go here to get tempo on the bishop. I might go g4, g5. I assume he's going to go to f6. If takes, pawn takes, check. So takes, takes, check. He's probably fine there. So I'm going to go an early g4. Try and just rip the position open if I can before he gets some sort of effective counterplay. Oh, he's just pushed forward. Okay. Now I assume I want to come back and challenge that bishop. He's got nothing really to kick my rook out of there. I can play f4 as well potentially, but I've got to think about opening the file up for my own king. So instinctively I favour bishop d4 and try and get rid of this defending piece. There's also a check. Right now he can go here, but it would be a pawn. So that's something we can look at as well. Yeah, I might have been better just having the rook straight across here. And we could have triple stacked the attack on this pawn, but we can always do that later on, hopefully. I just don't want to allow some sort of pawn marching down the board. That's why I kind of put the rook here to challenge this one. But bishop d4 seems very strong if I can remove the defending bishop and then maybe triple stack. I say check might win a pawn here. But that's not without risk. It opens a file for further down the game. So he's played rook up. Okay. So I assume I just go here now and challenge that bishop. So that's what I'm going to do. So he might ultimately have a defense and he might end up being fine and end up winning the game, but it's very difficult to play. Okay, so he's played queen up. So I assume we take now. He'll have to go with the pawn. And what about just simply coming across? It might be that I want rook over first. He'll probably do this. Takes, takes, queen up, threatens a nasty. If he defends here, actually, it gives him a chance to blunder. So I'm looking at queen up. If he goes here, I can check. And he can't defend the rook and the queen. So that gives him a chance to blunder. And how else does he defend this? I mean, maybe he can go back and then I can double up. So that looks like a very strong move to me. It's one of them, it's easy to think, oh, you're defending the pawn, but you're actually creating a discovered check on the queen. If the king goes back, you can take the rook. And I've got the other rook to bring into the attack if this one comes across somewhere as well. Okay, he has played the rook across. So I can just take here. That should be just winning, but is it winning? Check. Well, see, if you go this way, I take, you take, maybe it's not winning. I can check you have to go there. Then we can trade. It feels like I should play rook across here, but there is a free pawn or two. If I go with the rook and you go here and check, you go here. Maybe you are actually defending, so maybe I should just take a couple of free pawns here. But I like the look of rook across. Yeah, he can't take because I take with the pawn and then we hit the 2. Oh, he's just done it too quickly. He didn't stick the thing, but it's really difficult position to defend, of course. So that should be good enough now. That was a really difficult position for black to play there. So we get a good win.